today I'll be showing you two hairstyles. One hairstyle will be focusing on having the hair out as a bride or a bridesmaid, and the second hairstyle we'll be using the same hairstyle that I teach you first to then take it into an updo. The techniques that we'll be focusing on will be based on the Russian technique, so texture, pulled out, and creating lines through the hair. What I'm focusing on teaching you with this tutorial is creating a 3D hairstyle. So whether that be a braid that we're doing, whether we're bringing the hair to one side, it's focusing on pulling the hair to create an illusion so that the hairstyle looks 3D. Welcome to my first hair tutorial. Today we'll be doing a soft hairstyle, something that I usually use on brides for their registry or their civil ceremony. We're going to start off by prepping the hair, by curling and blow drying the hair. So we're going to start off with the hairstyle by taking a section to the top back part of the ear. So if I just turn my model's head, you'll see that it's at the top back part of the ear and all the way across on the other side. And just clip those sections away. And now I will prep the back part of the hair. So I'll be starting off at the bottom. So we're going to start off by prepping the hair, where I've taken two sections, which I spoke about earlier, and I'll now take a section at the bottom. So what we're doing is simply going upwards all the way and just adding some texture and movement into the hair. So just take a section, and I'm going to show you two methods. You can use the Dyson hairdryer or you can use a curler. So I'm started off with the Dyson hairdryer. So taking another section, I'm now going to show you how you would do it with a curler. So I'm using a wand and I'm just wrapping the hair around. This is simply to give it a little bit of curl and movement in the hair. Once you feel the heat come through, just take that off and you'll see the hair curled there. And I'm curling in all different directions just to give the hair some movement. So now that we've done this part, I'm now going to move on to the front. Keeping your sections clean, just curl the front of the hair going backwards. Okay, so we have our last section, and that section, similar to all the other sections on the side, will be curled going to the back. Okay, I'm now going to clip this away. Now for the back, I'm just going to put my hands through and just pull those curls out. If it's easier, you can use a tangle teaser. But if you haven't got much product buildup in the hair, you should be able to put your hands through quite easily. Okay, so once we've put our hands through the hair to pull out the curls, I'm now going to texturize the hair by putting some dry shampoo throughout the hair. So I'm using the Batiste dry shampoo in light and breezy, but you can use any one, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to put it through and work that in, section by section. Now there's no one way of doing the sections, you can just go throughout the hair because we're just trying to get that texture throughout. This will allow us to manage the hair quite well when we're pulling and texturizing so that it will stay up. So wherever you feel like it's silky, you need to go in with the dry shampoo. I'm now going to take this section here and just brush through. So with this hairstyle, we do start at the front, but in order for us to do that, we just have to take a section on this side here. Can you see it, Simon? Yeah? And literally, from the top part of the ears, you're bringing it down like a V shape. Just grab the hair halfway through and you just want to twist it. And I'm literally just going to clip that there while we work with the front part of the hair. Okay, so with the front, I want to keep out some pieces to frame the face. So I'm just going to use my fingers to do a crisscross parting and just take out some hair at the front, providing that it works with your face shape that you're working with. You don't want too much, so you just want a few pieces, a few strands falling out. Now comb through that hair. So I'm going to start with the front hair, and what I'm doing is I'm having two sections coming in together as if it's a braid. In order to do that, I have to crisscross this section here. If you did a straight line down the middle, both of the braids won't come in together and work. Now take the front section and clip that away. And we're going to work with our back section. Now, I'm going to start off by taking one section of that and I'm going to use a dry powder to texturize the root. This will allow me to pull and texturize these areas. And then I'm going to back comb at the back of that section. So it should sit up like this. And take another section and do the exact same thing. And then back comb the front part. And in a second when I work with it, you'll see why I've back combed the front and then the other one was at the back. Take another section. Dry powder. And back comb. I'm combing out each section just to smooth out that back combing. Right, I'm now going to start with one section, so our first section that we back combed and texturized with our dry powder. And I'm going to bring this inwards. And literally texturize it. So I'm taking my fingernails and pulling the tip of the hair and creating these ripples. And then I'm going to take the second section, being very careful that you don't mess up the hair, and just bring that inwards. And again, pull. So on each section, I've pulled 3 pieces out. And then I'm taking it from the bottom, another section that goes over. Then what I'm going to do is use the Redken Wax Blast Spray. What this does is it smooths out all the hair and it allows you to redefine those strands that you've pulled out. And then our last section, I'm going to bring that inwards and do the exact same thing. Take that section and then literally carry on twisting it. So it should be like a twist like that, and then you can then pull wherever you see a curve in the hair. And then I'll just position it near this clip here. Okay, so the next section, which is the other section I had at the front, this will now come inwards towards what we've already done here. So again, I'll take a section at the front, so about 4 or 3 sections depending on how much hair your client has. So we will put some texture powder at the root, work that into the hair. You don't want to leave it because you'll then see white patches in the hair. So when you take pictures of your client, it won't look so nice. So back comb, smooth it and just position it away. Take another section and do exactly the same throughout that hair. And if you do see any powder, just work your finger through and you shouldn't be able to see it anymore. So now take that section, bring it down, and we're doing exactly the same as we did for the hair that we've created here. And we can redefine it using the wax spray. Then take your second section and overlap that and bring it inwards and then pull. Then take your third section overlap over your second and then pull. And then again, as I did with the other section, just start twisting and bringing that towards the other strand that we worked with. And with a large U-pin, I'm literally just going to keep that together there while I go back and pull out the hair. So at the end of this stage, this is what it should look like, and you can go back with your wax spray and redefine with your fingers. So once we get to this stage, I'm then going to move on to the back part of the hair, but in order for this to set, I then use U-pins to hold the pieces further in towards each other. So when we finish the hairstyle, we can come back and take these pins out and have a well-defined hairstyle. And it allows the hair to set and work together. And you usually would position the pin at the underneath the section where you want it to hold. So for example here, I've taken that section, pulled it up and taken the pin to hold it underneath so that it sits in together. Okay, so on this side, we'll do exactly the same as what we have done on the other side of the hair. I'm going to take a few pieces out at the front. What this does is it just softens the front of the face, frames it, and also gives it that sort of romantic feel, and which is what we're going for. So I'm going to split this section in half here, and we will take a crisscross parting. Again, I mentioned earlier the reason why I'm taking this parting is so that the hair can work in towards each other quite well. If you take a straight parting, it doesn't come in so well. Now we start with the back section. We'll take a section, probably about 1.5 centimeters wide, and take our texture powder work it into the root of the hair. You can use your tail comb to work it in, and then your finger near the scalp so that there's no white areas. And then just back comb. So I'm back combing on this side here, just because I'm going to bring this inwards, and then the hair at the front will come inwards here. So I'm going to put that away, take another section. Back comb, then smooth, and just work that away. Take another section. So on the other side, there's usually less hair, so you would have about 3 sections. Okay, so I'm going to do the exact same thing. Take my first section and bring it inwards. So I've twisted it slightly and brought it inwards, and then I'm going to tease the hair. Hold that there, then take your second section and overlap it. Then take your third section and just overlap that. And then I'm going to go back in and just tease the hair. Then with the wax spray, I'm going to redefine with my fingers. And then just bring that backwards and clip on the scalp area. Now I'm going to do the same thing at the front, leaving the pieces that I took out. Take a section. Powder, back comb and smooth. So I'm just rubbing that powder in, just because I don't want it to be visible. And now I'm going to take this inwards to what I've done here and pull towards my client. And just check at the front, and then take another section and overlap it. So I've got my third section here, which will go last, and I'm going to bring that inwards, tease outwards, and I'm just going to hold that there while I get the wax spray to just define that. And then take my third section and bring that towards the scalp. So just using the wax bone, just redefining the hair. And where I've got the clip here, I'm just going to clip all of that together. So at this stage, I'm going to bobby pin this work that we've already done on both sides into the hairstyle, and then start working with the rest of the hair to create a half up, half down, but textured pulled out version. So what we will do now with this hairstyle is the work that we have done on the front, we will bring it onto the back. And the only way that that would stay is if we bobby pin it onto the hair here. And then what we will do is work with the rest of the hair to create something that works with what we've done on the sides. So the ripples that we've created on the sides, we would have to then create on the hair here. So, holding that there, I'm now going to get a bobby pin and just bobby pin that in just to hold that there. And as you can see, I've still got the U-pins at the front to hold that hair while I work with the rest of the hair here. Okay, so what we will do here now is I'm putting my hands through. So remember, we've got the texture that we've already put into the hair, so you can see that we've got a wave there. What we want to do is the hair that we've got here that hasn't got so much of a wave, we want to create a wave that goes into the waves that we've created here. So I'm now going to create that with my fingers and a bit of wax spray. So start off by combing. Right, so I'm just going to tilt her head backwards and now start working with the hair here. So I'm going to start on the sides where I'm going to pull and smooth. Pull, smooth. Smooth and pull outwards. So basically find the line that you want to pull, smooth it, and then pull it outwards. Now, as we get lower, we're just going to work with the actual curve in the hair and then pull outwards. So I'm going to start in the middle, spray with the wax spray, smooth with your finger, all the way down, and then pull out. To the bottom of the hair, because we haven't actually got any scalp or it's all free hanging hair here, we need something strong enough but not sticky or heavy to pull the hair down. So the hairspray that I use is this Masterpiece hairspray by Bedhead, and I like this spray because it also gives a sheen to the hair but holds it. So for hairstyles like this, it won't weigh the hair down, but it will give you a nice stiff hold. So I'm spraying and then smoothing and positioning the hair where I want it. Now, before you spray, pull it out to where you want it, and it will hold. And it just gives you that 3D effect to the hair. And if you feel like any of the strands need a bit more hair to give it that illusion, then just pick some up from the bottom and then spray. I'm just going to pull a little bit here. Spray from an angle, don't spray really close, it will make the hair very crispy. And also it will weigh the hair down. Right, so as those pins are setting at the bottom, I'm now going to take the side and just work it in where I want it. So we did bobby pin it slightly, but this is now working it into the actual hair. So I'm going to go underneath and pin against the scalp. What we'll now do is we'll look at the hairstyle at the front and we'll take out the U-pins and pin on the side here into the waves so that the side bits are secure into the hairstyle. So take the pins out from the tip because you don't want to pull out any strands and mess up the hair. And at this stage we can then pull out further if we need to and blend it into the style. So take the wax spray and smooth out any areas where you feel like it could look a little bit messy, or you've got a few strands that are poking up, then here on the side I'm just going to texturize it a little bit more. So the front fringe area, or the areas that we have taken out to frame the face, needs a slight lift so that it blends in with what we have done here. So I'm going to take that section, dust a bit of the texture powder. I'm holding my hand underneath. You don't need too much here because it's a small section and it doesn't require too much volume. And just make sure that's all blended. Take the section, and I'm back combing at the top part of it, not at the bottom. So just a slight amount of back combing, or lift that slightly and just smooth that without touching any of the hair that we worked with here. And you can use your tail comb as well to get through that. Just smooth it. And just use that to frame the face. Again, any hair that is sitting up, you can just take a small amount of the bedhead hairspray and just smooth. Right, so now I would look at her from the front and see what I would want to change. So I can see on this side I need a bit more shape on this side, so I'm just going to pull the hair. So if we look at this side of the hairstyle, I want to bring this in, each section further in, just so that it looks more like a braid. So what I do is I would then just get some bobby pins, bring that where I want to bring it in, and just literally slip the pin in. And again, I'll do the same thing here and then there. Okay, so now on this side, I'm going to take the pins out and just coat it with a final